What's going on, Mr. Scott Butler? Go ahead and share this video. Go ahead and share this video. What's going on, Mr. Scott Butler? Hey, Anthea. Thanks for chiming in. I know it's been a minute. I think it's been about 2 weeks since we've been going live on Wednesday and doing our Sundays training. But I can assure you that the team and myself has been working heavily on building out the infrastructure of WallStreet. We just launched back up today far as starting our live Wednesday night entrepreneurship. We will be doing another training starting back this Sunday. So best believe we have it start working. If you're on this live, if you see this video, go ahead and share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with inspiring entrepreneurs, investors. If it's your first time on this live, and you don't know what WallStreet is, don't know what it stands for, who we are, just briefly, WallStreet is a crowdfunding platform. It's Black owned for minorities and Black founders. And basically what we do is help in a different way of practicing group economics. We help entrepreneurs and founders raise capital for their businesses. We help investors and even just supporters to find opportunities to pour back into Black small businesses. One of the things that we focus on is we primarily want to focus on scalability. We have too many, and just being honest, we have too many sole proprietorships, Black businesses, and we want to change the narrative. We want to start educating and teaching our Black founders and Black entrepreneurs and Black small businesses on scaling their companies, growing their companies to the point where we're hiring our own people and where we're, actually building generational wealth through our businesses. Last August, we just recently launched our crowdfunding platform, our rewards base. We're in the process of launching our equity and real estate portion, anticipating Q1 2021, which is the first quarter of 2021. We'll be the first Black-owned platform to host multiple offerings on our platform. So not only will we be offering rewards based, we'll be offering equity opportunities where you can share equity ownership in businesses. So I always compare it to Facebook, Tesla, Lyft, Uber. Just think about those companies that went public, and all of us went in and created our brokerage account and bought shares and brought stocks to these companies. But little do we know that there were investors that invested in these companies prior to these companies going public. You may heard of the name angel investors, and these are mainly wealthy individuals who actually invested in these companies at their beginning stages. And the whole idea is, I understand the excitement when we purchase stocks at the public stage, but understand that we're the last of getting in on some good deals. And when you see a stock at $100, $200, I mean, how high can it really go? How much profits can we really make? And in reality, those individuals who invested in these private companies before they went public, they're seeing a return on their investment 700% or more. So they're the ones that's really winning. We never had that opportunity to invest in opportunities like that until Obama passed the Jobs Act. Now we're able to invest in early startups, but we're trying to change the narrative where now we're giving our people the opportunity to invest in other small Black businesses, because we believe that we have the potential to be the next, Facebook or Uber or Lyft. But the problem is we always had the lack of access of capital. We had the lack of resources. And that's why we built WallStreet, because we want to be able to create avenues where now you don't really have to depend on, somebody else to actually write you a check to take your business to the next level. You can actually raise money from the crowd, similar to GoFundMe, but on a different scale. But we go into more details about our platform. We go into more details on understanding how crowdfunding works, how group economics works, especially when it comes to crowdfunding. If you haven't already, go ahead and join our group. We have a private Facebook group where we do live trainings each and every Sunday. Again, for the past 2 weeks, we haven't because we've been working on the back end. But we will be picking it back up, doing live trainings, and just educating our people on crowdfunding, on WallStreet, our vision and our mission, and what we have been doing and plan on doing in the near future. So go ahead and join the group. So today's live, for those, again, this is your first time on this live. We typically go live every Wednesday and we interview, we spotlight, Black business owners and Black entrepreneurship, but with a little twist to it. For me personally, we on social media, we see Facebook, Instagram, we see all the success stories, we see all the glamorous and the roses and everything, and somebody who's on the back end looking and saying, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to start a business because I see this person doing that, I see the money that this person is making, and they jump out there and then realize it's not what you think, it's not what it looked like. It takes time, it takes pruning, it takes a process, it takes an obstacle and challenges to be an entrepreneur. It's really not for the faint of heart. And so really what made me start this live is having these entrepreneurs come on and not only talk about their success, but also talk about their challenges and obstacles that they face during their journey of being where they at today. And it helps because it helps you create that reality to understand it's not easy, number one. And it also help other entrepreneurs because sometimes they may feel like we in this by ourselves. We may be struggling, trying to figure out, what's next, or am I the only person going through this? And when you actually hear other people, other business owners, other entrepreneurs and their challenges and their obstacles, it makes you feel a little better to know that you're not in this alone. And that's the whole purpose of our Wednesday night lives. So if you miss, I think we're on episode 6 right now. So if you missed the last 5 interviews that we did, you can go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is WallStreet Entrepreneurs. You can check out and look up the last 5 interviews. It's really good. And so today we have another interview with Jessica Hudson, J Hood, longtime friend. And we're gonna bring her on, have her introduce herself, and we're gonna talk business. So J Hood, are you here? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Pleasure having you. Pleasure having you. Thank you for taking the time out to be on this live. I really appreciate it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. So, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let people know who you are.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Jessica Hudson. I am a child of the Most High. I keep God first. I'm a wife and I'm also a mother. I'm also a multi-business entrepreneur. Look, they thought I was about to say multi-millionaire. That's coming.
It's coming.
I'm a silent investor. I'm a franchisee as well as a franchisor. I attended Miami City Senior High School, home of the Chiefs. I also do FSU, graduated from FAU with my bachelor's in sociology and minor in education. I later on attended Florida Memorial University, where I received my master's degree in ESC. And then I received my doctoral degree from Nova Southeastern University in higher ed leadership as well as human administration.
Nice. You got a fully loaded resume. And that's good.
Yeah.
It's good, and
that's just the word.
Man, and that's great, and it's inspiring because it just shows that you're capable, and it's people are capable to do what they can to do it. Just you have to apply yourself. I'm quite sure it wasn't easy getting all those achievements that you have. It was times you wanted to quit.
Yeah.
but you pushed through it and you got it. So graduating from Carol City High, jumping into college, what at what point did you realize entrepreneurship was the way to go?
Um, it wasn't from high school. I realized entrepreneurship was the way to go after college, being on the in the work field and working for different bosses and seeing the treatment, especially as a young Black. I was already, you know, determined to go like far in life, and I wanted to make sure that I was elevating in everything that I did. So it's kind of hard to do those things when you have bosses that don't see the potential in you, and you have bosses are men bosses that don't feel like this is a woman's world, and then you have bosses that are women that feel like you're a threat to them. I said, you know what? I want to become my own boss, and I want to make sure that I hire people and make sure that they don't feel like they're beneath me. They don't feel like they're inferior. I want them to feel like family. I want to be able to provide my employees with the treatment that they treat me. I want to make sure that I provide them with the utmost respect. So I say, you know what? I don't want to be a worker.
Right. It's crazy you say that because a lot of times people think by you being a boss, you just run everything far as you have that authoritative demeanor where you're not, like you said, you're not looking to build that culture with your employees, because eventually if you're planning on scaling your business and you plan on hiring, um, being the boss comes with leadership. And
Correct.
a lot of times people want to be the boss but lack the leadership. And
Correct.
we see that a lot, especially being in jobs, being in multiple jobs and seeing people who become managers and supervisors. And it's like you may be good at what you do as far as skill wise, but
Mm-hmm.
the
Are you
leadership,
an initiator?
right?
Yes. Are you a self-starter?
Exactly. And I think that should be a requirement if you decide to promote somebody to be a manager or supervisor, like, because it takes leadership to run a company. It takes leadership to push your employees to do things. And I think that's a lack in most jobs, which is why myself, yourself, and others, like, you know what? Hell with the jobs. I'm gonna go ahead and create my own business and do my own thing. Um,
Correct.
and that's big. So all this that you're doing, and and we're gonna get into the businesses that you already have, like far as the experience of working a job and seeing how pretty much the respect level is not there, especially being a woman in the job force, especially being, I would say, indirectly mistreated or not valued as an employee. Those were challenges that that you face and many of us face in the job force. Like, what are some challenges as far as in entrepreneurship, being a Black woman in this space? Like, what are some challenges that you face?
Okay. So let's start. I don't want to share the whole story because I don't know how long I have. We'll start by saying being female in a predominantly white America is hard. Um, Being told no is difficult and it's discouraging. Being a woman trying to excel in a man's world is discouraging, and having capital and not the W-2s, that's discouraging. Um, no mentorship, no guidance. And when I say that, I start off by saying I purchased my first home at 21. And I would never forget sitting inside of BB&T. There was a white lady in Davie and BB&T. Bank Atlantic had switched over to BB&T, and she found nothing wrong with my. You got me pre-qualified. She found nothing wrong. She was so surprised. She was like, "You're 21 years old. You're just finishing college. You have your W-2s in order. You have your savings in order. Your credit is A plus." Like, she was like, "How did you do this?" She was like, "Did someone leave you money? Did you inherit this? Who taught you about credit? Who taught you about business?" And she's like, "My daughter graduated 8 years ago and she still haven't purchased a home. Why are you purchasing young?" 23rd. So I say this to say, once it was time for me to close, they try to find every excuse not to close on that loan.
Wow.
So I went from saying I was going to close on Memorial Weekend of 2010. I never forget it. I was supposed to close that weekend, and then they pushed it back to June, and then they pushed it back to July, and they pushed it back to August, and then they pushed it back to September, and I lost the contract.
Wow.
So Labor Day weekend, I remember this whole story so vividly because people don't realize that they still redline.
Mm-hmm.
So September Labor Day weekend, my realtor called me and said, I see another house in Davie that I know you would love. So I said, okay, let me check it out. So as soon as I got back from out of town, that was the first stop I went to. I fell in love with the house and I said, you know what, God always have bigger and better. So I fell in love with the house. I saw the house. It was better than the other house. The location was better than the other house. And I ended up being approved through BB&T, and they never gave me a reason. To this day, I don't have a reason why they never closed on the loan. It ended up going to City National, where the mortgage broker there, the lender there that worked on all the mortgages, was a black male,
Mm.
and he closed on my house in a month.
That there is one of the things that we stress, especially at WallStreet, is we need more people to be in position to make them decisions like that. We need more people to pursue being underwriters, because and the reality of it is there's racism that we see visibly, like we see racism, but then there's the racism that we don't see, those people that's behind the scenes, especially when it comes to business. Like Jansky say, they don't want to see us succeed. So it's like they're positioning themselves to be in position to determine whether we get something or we don't. And that's one of the objectives that we have, is we need to push more of our people to be in positions to write checks, to be in a position to say, you know what, Jessica Hood, ethnicity, black woman approved. You know what I'm saying? So if we're not in those seats and we're not in those positions, it's hard for us to get to that next level. Like you said, everything was clean. You had the credit. It kind of reminded me of the situation with Daryl. Daryl Fielding. We dealt with that when he was closing his first Airbnb. I was working with him with a lender. Same situation. Everything was on point, and they waited till like the last day, the day of, to say, "Oh, they can't do it." It's like you been through this, and it's like they try to find every little thing. And it's like it sucks, and that's the reality that we live in. But out of all that, what you said, the thing that came to me was persistent. You were persistent and you were resilient, and you didn't stop. Some people and some people would pursue whatever it is that may be, and may, like, you know what, and give up, like, I can't win, and end up
Correct.
settling for something less. And I
Correct.
think, for the most part, to be honest, y'all women, y'all be on it. And I don't think, y'all are the backbone of the communities. Y'all are the backbone of small businesses, because y'all are the true definition of pushing things through. I think, for the most part, us men, we somewhat laid back, and we'll end up throwing the hands up and don't fight for it. But you guys will do it.
Yeah.
And that's just honesty. That's just honesty, man. So when it comes to that, you're a wife, newly mother. Congratulations. running multiple businesses. Now your plate is full. Just explain, like, what is that experience, especially now with a new baby involved, and like, what is the experience of balancing all of this that you have going on?
Okay. So a little background about that. Because you're close to me, you're my actual friend, but a lot of people don't know that when I was 24, 25, 26, while getting my doctoral, working 3 jobs, I was a foster parent with 2 kids. that had already been in the system 3 times under the age of 3 years old and had got kicked out of daycare 3 times.
Yeah.
So I was already used to the challenge of saying, this business, I'm working here and I got these 2 bad kids, as society say, but they wasn't bad, you just had to love them. So I kind of was already used to juggling, and then throughout that time span, you meet different people, and they get intimidated about a single educated female, Black female at that, doing a thing. You got this house over here, you got this duplex over here, you got this commercial property over here, you got this warehouse over here, you got 4 degrees behind your name. So that can get intimidating. So when I met my husband, God knew what I needed.
Right.
When I met my husband, he already was making 6 figures as well. He didn't have kids. He was established. So once we got together, it was like nonstop. Like, we're a power couple, like we're a team. Like, he helps me throughout my whole daily transactions. Like, whenever I'm feeling stressed, whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I just say, hey, like, this is going on and I don't know what to do, or I just don't feel like doing it, and then he'll take it on. He'll take on the responsibility without me even having to ask. Or if he sees, like, for people who know me, they know that my baby went everywhere I went. If I went to a meeting, my baby was right there. If I went to a grant writing seminar, if I was teaching a class, my baby was right there. So when I would come home, or when he would come home, he would say, okay, I know you had a long day, I'll take the baby. So he took the stress off of me with that part. And then I'm not a technology person. So when it comes to like the tech stuff, the lives, the posting of this, the getting the numbers in order on Excel, getting the PowerPoint done, he took control of that. So it helped me. And like some days I didn't have to come home and cook because he already cooked. So when I say truly power couple and truly like God was in the midst of what I needed, like it was nothing but God, and that helped with balancing, and he helped me, with structuring our daily routines and coming up with a schedule and sticking to it.
Nice. That's dope. You don't really hear stories like that. For one, majority of the time, you always hear the male is the one that's actually pursuing entrepreneurship, have the small business or things of that nature. And the wife is mainly working or staying at home and things of that nature. So it's like, it's always inspiring to hear the flip side of that, even though, he's bringing an income, but you are the one that's in the entrepreneurship world. And a lot of times, especially when it comes not only in just marriage or relationships, but just when it comes to friends and family, if people don't understand entrepreneurship, it's kind of difficult for them to support you because
Yes,
they don't
they don't understand. They think you
vision,
come
right?
out with a new business and you making money, but they don't see behind the scenes. They don't see, hey, I hired this person today, but they walked off the next day. Or I
Right,
hired this person and they can't pass the background check. I hired this person and they can't pass the drug screening. Or um, this tax bill has to be paid. This
right.
have to be fixed. They don't understand that. They don't understand what liabilities you have to make sure that you're on top of.
Yep. Well, a lot of them don't see it, even when it comes like in the beginning stages. Just understanding the vision. A lot of times things take time, and sometimes, well, in most cases, especially in 2020, people like microwave successes where you just today I say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then they're expecting tomorrow you already, like you said, like a multi-millionaire.
Mhm.
And sometimes things don't happen, and in reality, the journey of entrepreneurship can pivot, it can make U-turns, it can be a detour. Like it's not a straight shot type of road to walk on, because it's new things that you end up finding out, new things you end up learning, new challenges, where in situations where you have, like, for example, like the pandemic, a lot of people, especially small businesses, wasn't really expecting the damage that it did. And what happened is it ended up causing a lot of people to pivot, change their business model, change the way they budget, change the way they manage money. Because now it's like, like yourself, we teach this stuff and we talk to people, about this stuff and like, yeah, 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 yeah. But when something happens, it's like, man, I need to be on my P's and Q's. So if you don't learn from this pandemic, anything else, this is one thing to learn. Like, tomorrow anything can happen. So if you're not,
Today.
yeah, if you're not managing your finance properly, you don't have the right support system behind you, you're doomed to fail. You are doomed to fail. And having that support system, especially as a spouse, I don't think people understand how important that is. Just having that's a support system, and even keeping God in the middle of everything that you guys are doing is very, very, very vital. Because again, this thing ain't cookies and cream. You're gonna have your days where you just want to give it all up and just quit.
You'll say, why did I get into this? Or do I want to go back to the workforce? Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
And people don't realize, they're like, oh, well, you could create your own schedule. You could do this, you could do that. And I'm like, as flexible as being an entrepreneur sounds, it's not that flexible, because if I don't work, or if I don't sit behind my laptop and come up with a different model of how to do something, or come up with a different way of how to market, or make sure that all of my businesses are running that day, I don't eat. My kid don't eat. My family don't eat. So when I don't work, there's nothing to say, oh, here's your sick time, or
Right.
here's money that we promised you, that that you didn't come to work today, or here's your FMLA. Like, they don't understand. Like, no.
No, nah. Like I say, and that's the whole purpose of this live, because it sounds good. You create your own schedule. You don't have to work for nobody. You work for yourself, but not realizing it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because with a regular job, you can just show up and get a paycheck.
And you could
And
call in, or you could take a long lunch break, or you could do whatever you want to do.
put in for vacation. And being entrepreneurs, like you can work a 9 to 5, and then after 5 o'clock you can be free, do what you want to do. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially in the beginning stages of starting your business, ain't no such thing as 9 to 5. You can be working about 12 hours a day, losing out on sleep.
Sometimes I work 20 hours a day.
Because the thing is, too,
And being a franchise owner, one of our stores don't close till 2 o'clock in the morning.
so yeah, you got it. So I think that, at some point some people paint the wrong picture when it comes to entrepreneurship. It is it does pay off in the long run. It does pay off, but it requires, like Oshan just said, discipline. It requires a lot of discipline. You can't come in entrepreneurship with the same employee mindset that you had at your job, because there's a whole weight on your shoulder. And I think a lot of times, because of that, the responsibility, it creates fear as well for those individuals who are inspiring to be entrepreneurs, who want to jump out and start their own business. Fear can actually hold you back as well, because understanding that, like you just mentioned, putting food on the table and feeding your family is 110% solely depend on you. And then, if you miss one day or 2 days, and in some cases, especially again starting out, you may not get a check. You may go a whole month with no checks.
A whole year.
A whole year with no checks.
Oh yeah.
So you may not get no money coming in, and it can be very discouraging and feel like, hey, I'm putting all this work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and nothing going in. It's like, again, you have to have that support group. And I think now is more important to be, so you have to change your environment. You have to change your scenery. You have to start surrounding yourself around other people that's in the same process as you, or have been through what you've been through, to have that encouragement, to have, that mentorship, to have that advice. You need all of that in entrepreneurship, because it's not a lone ranger type deal. If you win it by yourself and trying to do it by yourself, unless you just, like just an investor, just want to put money out there, then But if you actually running the operation, you actually running the business, and you actually building something from the ground up, and you trying to do this thing by yourself.
And you need a mentor. I tell people all the time you need a mentor. And some people be scared to pay a mentor, and I can understand because a lot of fraud and scamming going on. But you want to get you a trustworthy, reliable mentor, because I tell people all the time, mistakes cost. Time is money. So you want to get a mentor that has already paved the way for you, who have already done the things that it is that you need to do, that can tell you, hey, you want to do ABC so that you can get to XYZ. Because if you go QRS, it might be a possibility that you won't make it to the finish line.
Nope.
So instead of making these costly mistakes, instead of wasting your time and have to double back and then have to wait for things to be amended, let me show you how to do it right the first time,
Right.
so that you won't wait a year to see a paycheck, and now you can see 6 figures within the first 3 years.
Right. Yeah, that is important. I don't think people realize the amount of time and money wasted of not having some form of mentorship or advisor to help you out in the process, especially those who have the experience, who did all the mistakes and things for you. Is valuable. It's valuable, and I think, you know, for the most part, that's why most business coaches or mentors and consultants charge what they charge, because again, time is money,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not where, you know, they look at people who become wealthy or get some form of level of success to now just give everything away for free. It's like, nah. And there's only y'all people that think like that. And it's like, it's sad, because end of the day, far as me and my experience, when I did, you know, consulting in that aspect in the past, I worked with people who I gave information for free. And I worked with people who actually paid me. And those who actually paid me took the advice that I gave. And those who got the information for free, they didn't value it. They didn't do anything. And it's like not understanding that, okay, yeah, I gave you the information for free. However, you just wasted my time.
Yeah. Time is money.
Yeah. You just wasted my time. I gave you this information for free and you did nothing with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get why, you know, some people, you know, charge where they charge. So like, let's before we end, let's briefly talk about some of the businesses that you have going on. I don't know if I should get my notebook.
Look, I should have my notebook out for this, but no. Okay, so we own a franchise. We're also silent investors, or we were thinking about doing something where we become private lenders. That's in the works.
Before you go on, for those who never heard what a silent investor is, what is a silent investor?
That means that we invest, like we put up the capital to help other entrepreneurs get started, and no one knows that we have part ownership of their company.
Got it. Go ahead.
So
people don't know.
Mhm.
People don't know.
And that's a blessing in itself to do that, because that's residual income that we don't even have to do anything. Like we don't have to do anything but write up the contract. And in that time period, you just make sure I get my 20% or my 30% or my 40% or whatever it is. And, you know, we go on our way.
I'm gonna let you go, but I always said this, and I'm gonna stick to it. Everybody is not fit to be an entrepreneur, but everybody can be fit to be an investor.
Yes.
So even individuals who can't be an entrepreneur or run their small business, even though people try, it just ain't for you. Don't do it. But there's ways where you can still contribute to the entrepreneurship world and be an investor like yourself, be a silent partner and invest in these small businesses and things of that nature. And I think people don't realize the opportunities that's out there. And it's great that you said that, because a lot of times we are stuck with real estate, even though that's an asset class, but not understanding you can also invest in businesses and small businesses and receive, like you said, residual income, revenue share, things of that nature is one of the things we teach about in Wall Street. So I'm glad you mentioned that for the listeners to hear. Sorry, but go ahead.
That's okay. Like I can honestly say when we first became silent investors, I want to say about 5 years ago, it was kind of scary because the amount of money that particular person that was starting up asked for. I was like, oh. So they asked. So I know people probably gonna say, "Oh, well, how much they asked for?" That particular person asked for 25,000. So I was, oh, ooh. So, but I end up doing it. People have to understand that you can't let everyone know what you're doing because some people will talk you out of it. My mom is very traditional. She's very old school. Had I told her I started that 5 years ago,
25,000. What?
she would have blew my head off. So she didn't understand. But when I actually wrote up the contract, we went to the bank and got everything notarized. They sat with us, and then they had to come up with collateral. So they understood that if you don't pay me this, everything that you've worked for within your company is mine. Your insurance, mine. Your name, mine. Everything. And then come to find out that the person that I gave that money to, they were the co-owner for their father's business that had already been in business for like 25 years. So after I learned that, I was like, oh, yeah, how you need more? Because y'all already got the equipment. That's
Right.
what I already want to do. So that was fun. And then to see how it turned out, I got more comfortable. And I was like, okay, well, if I could get somebody 25 racks and get this back, I'm gonna do it again.
Right.
So that was cool. But we have a tutoring business, and what's crazy is we're getting more phone calls than ever. Last year, about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, I started changing the model from face to face, well, physical meetings to Zoom. A lot of parents opposed it. They was like, "Oh no, my child not gonna sit still at a computer. I'm not doing that." Da, 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 da. And then now look today, everyone needs
Mm-hmm.
virtually. So it worked out for our favor this year. Last year, it kind of went down a little bit because a lot of people were opposed to the face the like not having a physical. But I only had like 2 tutors at the time, and I was pregnant and I was sick, so it was hard. But then this year, I have like 8 tutors, and like thank God. So we have a tutoring company, and then we also, my husband is a day trader, so we help people with showing them how to invest in the stock market and buying shares and waking up at 3:45 and being consistent in doing that. So we have that going on. I'm also a business consultant, so I help people. I'm more, help them with their mentorship, guidance, stuff like that. Um, and then we have a franchise, like I told you about. So we have that going on. Then we have a drug testing center as well as home health care. So all of it is tied in one. So we send out LPNs, CPNs, RNs. We send them out to different nursing homes. We send them out to different people houses, elderly, disabilities. And so they work with that. And then people who are trying to get into the employment world, we help them with background screening, DOT test, drug testing, non-DOT drug screening, COVID testing. I do DNA testing. I do fraternity tests. So we have that going on. And then I have my phlebotomist that deals with that. I have my nurse practitioner that comes with the physicals. And then I have an assistant that does all the administrative work with that. On
Yeah.
top of that, so with that, we purchased a semi truck, flat out cash money. We have no payments. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Woo, woo. So we have a trucking business going on. We have a semi truck, and we didn't even have to purchase a trailer yet. Thank you, Jesus, because we partnered up with a vendor that provides the trailers for us.
Nice.
And then on the flip side, I have another DOT number where I am a broker. So I'm the one that contact all the shippers to make sure that the drivers have a load. So we have that going on. And then I have a nonprofit and we're partner up with the Dolphins. And then I also help people write grants and we go feed the kids every day.
Nice. For those who don't know, me and Jessica go way back to Lighthouse days, being out in the communities and things. And, it was an experience. It was a good experience that we did. We actually was starting, getting the mentorship going on as well. So I can honestly say that she came a long way, and it's like my hat go off to you.
Thank you.
I don't know when you speak, but my hat go off to you. It's inspiring to show again that it's possible. It's possible, but you have to put in the work.
You have to put in the work, and you can't be afraid to hear no. When I hear no, that made me go harder. I will have a testimony next week for that word no, but I know that when you're in position to do certain things, you get attacked quicker. And you have to be strong, you have to be in your word, and you have to find other ways for the yes, because when it's your season and when it's your time, God gonna make sure that you have abundance. And right now, this is the season where I can honestly say that those who are connected to me, those who are around me, I'm able to bless them. It's not about me. It's about those around me. It's about people, even though they told me no, that I can't get this loan, I could go somewhere else and I could get that loan. Even though they said, my mom told me don't leave my job. I'm at her house right now, but she told me don't leave my job. And I left my job and I stepped out on faith and I did something that was insane. Some people would have, it was insane to somebody else, but it wasn't insane to God. And so now I went from making 60,000 a year to, it was nothing but God, the increase. Yeah. So, look, you see, I left that blank, but
yeah. Fill in the blank.
It's mega, and I will leave with this. My goal was to become a millionaire before 35. It was nothing but God. So I will tell people, write the vision. Faith, the size of a mustard seed, and understand that the road isn't easy. And in order to make money, you have to spend money, and you can't be scared to spend money. Right. Because when you have big dreams, you know that you're going to get that money back. And money come and go. We worship the wrong things. So people have to understand that you cannot worship money and you can't hold on to it when you're trying to invest and trying to do something greater and you're trying to leave generational wealth and you're trying to get residual income and you're trying to make money when you sleep. And I would say invest in yourself. People are scared to learn from others. They're scared to give somebody $1,000. They're scared to give somebody $2,500 to become their mentor. They're scared to take a class that's $300 that's going to help you be a trainer, to train someone else, to receive more money. Like I'm a CPR trainer as well. So I had to spend that money to become CPR instructor certified so I could teach others, but I'm going to make that back twice as full. And I could say I became a CPR instructor and within a month, I made that money back.
Right.
Just by stepping out on faith. So, and also, I'm not going to tell you I never failed. I'm not going to tell you there's been days that I woke up and didn't have money in my accounts and like, oh, shoot, what I'm going to do next? So you can't be afraid to fail. That's going to make you stronger and that's going to make you better and it's going to get you educated and it's going to give you wisdom of what not to do the next time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Failure is part of the process. When you learn to embrace failure, nothing can stop you because really that's the only thing that stops people is the fear of failure. When you overcome it, you could be knocking down walls. Regardless of how many scratches and bruises you get, you're going to keep pushing forward. Yeah. And that's key. What you said about money, you have to spend money. You look at current the term currency is meant to move. Money can't be stagnant. It's called currency.
And what people don't understand, like I teach people about leveraging business credit, and I don't want to take a loan, credit card. I don't want to do this. My mom had bad credit, so now I don't want to use it. When you learn how to leverage business credit, that's the best thing that you can do. So you can't be afraid to take credit and be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difference of abusing the credit card, but there's a difference of utilizing it and leveraging to get to where you need to be and pay on it.
Yeah. And a lot of that comes with education too, because people don't understand how to leverage. And what you just stated, you know, when people run away from loans or credit card, it's because we've been conditioned. For that, basically in our era, you know, our parents, most of us didn't come from parents with the entrepreneurship mindset. They could, you know, they was 9 to 5 hardworking parents. So of course they live in that they still in that era. So they've been brainwashing us to think the same way. But now, you know, when we expand our mindset and tapping into different areas of entrepreneurship and being business owners, it's a fight within ourselves to battle our way of thinking. And I think that's why it's important. Anybody that's inspiring to be an entrepreneur, getting into business, to start focusing on mindset, changing your mindset, and personal development. Because once you start changing this, whatever the head go, the body follow. And once you start changing your mindset and start thinking differently, everything else will make sense.
And pay attention to what your friends are saying and doing around you.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I had to level up this year
Mm-hmm.
because my bank account leveled up. So now I have to find friends that are making the money that I'm making, that making the moves that I'm making, that's investing in themselves, that is trying to leave a legacy behind for their kids.
People will hate you for that.
Yes.
People will hate you for that.
Oh, hold that thought. Next week I got something for you. But hold that thought. But I will tell you this. If you don't have a friend sharing a book with you or telling you about a book they read, you need to find a new friend. Because every week, my husband and I, we listen to different books. We do audio books. So every time we in the car, we listen to a book. We're watching YouTube. We don't even watch TV. I don't know why we pay for cable, because our TV stays, all the TVs in the house stay on YouTube or stay on the audio book at Amazon Prime. So if you don't have a friend or sending you something about a message, or I have a friend every morning, me and him, we're sending each other messages. He's sending me TD I'm sending him PMJ. So, you know, and I sent him a book last week by Wade, The Success Factor. We read the Intelligent Investor. We've read The Millionaire Next Door. We read different books. I've read The Richest Man in Babylon like 5 times. So if you don't have a friend that's doing those things or saying, you know what, I know it's hard. You want me to take the baby this week? Like, you know, or what you got going on? You need me to come clean. You need me to come clean your kitchen. You need me to come to the store and do this. If you don't have a friend that's offering to do those things or doing that thing, or saying what you're reading or trying to get into your mind, you got to change your friends, change your surroundings.
Definitely.
For family too.
Yeah, that's the whole conversation of itself. Nah, man, but I appreciate the time. I'm sure our listeners got some valuable information from you. How can people find you, follow you, you know, reach out to you for the services that you offer?
Okay, so you can find me on Just Divine Beauty, JUSTDIVINE Beauty, regular way on Instagram, or you can also email me, Della Helps with the S, DELAHELPS at gmail.com. And you can also call me on my business phone, 321-430-8887.
Nice, nice. All right, well, I appreciate it, Jessica. I look forward to hearing the testimony.
You will.
And again, man, keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing forward. We will be doing another live with you down the road, just to follow up with you. I appreciate you, man. For those who just chiming in, if you in there late, you can watch the replay. This will also be uploaded on YouTube as well. So again, appreciate you. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right.